minutes, I'll try to give you a fire with which you can burn your vision boards. What I mean by that, and I know before I get going, many of you might be clinching on your manifestation journals and throw it on my face. But wait, just give me 10 minutes and I'll try to come up with something that will stop you from creating any violence with me. For that, I need a volunteer. Anyone? Anyone? No. May I have your name, please? Gurjot Singh. All right. So, Mr. Gurjot, can he have a mic? Gurjot, right? So, Gurjot, I have a question for you, and this is a rhetorical question for all of you as well. What do you think is much more important, following your passion or following a mainstream thing, whatever you are doing in your life? What's more important? Passion. Okay. How many of you think passion is more important? Everyone. All right. Now, can you please tell me what was your passion when you were probably 5 years old? What did you wanted to become when you were 5 years old? What did you wanted to become when you were 10-year-old? 15? Now 20 at 20 years old? Now? Yeah. Filmmaker. So, thank you so much. The reason that I wanted to ask this to him, and that's okay. The reason I wanted to ask this to him, and I want to ask to all of you, and this is a very rhetorical question for all of you, how many of you think that your choices of what you wanted to become changed every 5 years? For me, it changed every 6 months. But I'm sure for a lot of you, it kept on changing at a very various amount of time that you spent in life. Now, imagine changing your careers as frequently. One day you are a filmmaker, second day you become a businessman, and third day you become a pilot, and then fourth day you become someone else. Does it seem sustainable? Sounds fascinating for sure, but does it sound sustainable at all? No, right? Exactly. Just like that, I believe that passion is extremely overrated. Passion is a term which has been fed to us by a lot of our social media influencers these days, content creators, and God forsake all the motivational speaker in the world. That you need to follow your passion, quit your job, start following your passion. Even your parents will bear you for next 5 years and then kick you out of your home because you don't earn a single penny. So my take here is, and this is what I want to give to all of you, is more than passion, what's important is purpose. Finding your purpose. Instead of finding what you want to do right now, try to find why do you want to do it. The moment you're able to find your why and start asking yourself why behind everything, you'll have the answer to this very question that I asked with you from all of you: passion or purpose. One of a very classic example of this is, again, anyone can answer. You don't have to come here. You can answer from there as well. How many of you, when you go and watch a movie, let's say one of your favorite movies that you go and you watch and you feel very good about it, that yes, I finally watched the movie that I've been waiting for like last 6 months. The moment it ends, the moment the movie ends, after that, do you have that same feeling of, of having a very good feeling even after 6 months of that movie has ended? That, oh, I did watch that movie in the first go itself. No, right? You forget about it, right? You wanted to watch that movie right now. You went and watched. Your dopamine spiked a lot. The moment the movie ended, your dopamine spike was over. On the contrary, let's take another example. Like most of you are students here, you had a deadline. You went in and you had a project, right? And you went in and you did phenomenal and you heard a lot of accolades from your HODs and your teachers. How good you feel about this particular situation, thing that happened with you? You feel good about it for next 1 year. You tell everyone, oh, I did this amazing thing in your project. I started my career as a talent acquisition guy. I've seen people writing on resume how did they did about a project even after 10 years spending in a career that they have. They talk about their college life and they tell me that, hey, you know what, I did this amazing thing when I was at college. And the college was over a decade ago. Even then you feel good about it. Why? Because it put out an impact. What I'm trying to say here and what I'm trying to in front of all of you is when you do something that just you want to do, the dopamine spike or the happiness program that it comes with, it doesn't last as long. Whereas when you do something that has a bigger impact towards the society, towards your life, or towards someone else's life, it stays with you forever. Now, I'll talk about science behind this. One of the biggest science behind this, behind entire way that we think, the way that we process, is called neuroscience. In neuroscience, it is known as your cognitive ability of your prefrontal cortex, that is the brain that thinks over the long-term decision making. It feels happier when you do something that is backed with purpose, that has a why behind it. As an example, another example of this is, most of you are students. I was an engineering student. I know what you guys do the moment you guys get out of the college. I know the tapris and I know everything that the places where you go just to feel good about yourself. The moment you are done with whatever you are doing, you know it's bad for your health and your dopamine spikes dies out and you know that you've not done something good. And you promise to yourself that if this moment, whatever I'm feeling, if this slows down or this dies out, I'll never do this again. How many of you have felt this? Because most of your students, I know majority of you might have felt this. You had a very amazing, boys' night out or girls' night out. You had a lot of drinks and stuff. How many of you end up wishing and praying to God that if this hangover dies out, I'll never drink again? And how excited were you right before that party? Similarly, when you go out and you do something that actually holds value, that actually brings some value to your life or others, how good do you feel about it even after 6 months or a year has passed on? You keep on talking about it to different people, telling your experiences. I was also a big believer of purpose. Is for people beyond 60 years old. I'm good with my passion. I'm very young. Time to explore the world. When I was in that particular phase, there was one incident that happened. This was back in, I think, 2015 or 16. It was a very cold morning of January, and I was I was into talent acquisition, so I used to do a lot of campus placements. So I was speaking with a candidate that was studying at an IIT back then, and this was a cold winter. He was from IIT Mizoram, which is already a very cold place. This guy was wearing a jacket, wearing probably 5 layers. And right behind his laptop, there was, a lot of noise that was coming out of probably a fan or a cooler maybe. And as I was shivering during the interview, which intrigued me, I asked them, why do you have this fan on? Even when you are feeling so cold, why do you have this fan on? You can turn it off. This guy, with a very little bit of probably embarrassment, said that my father is very poor. He is an electrician. He cannot afford to give me a laptop. So this laptop that I have is a very old laptop. If I shut off the fan or the cooler, this will die out of heating, right? And I asked him how did he manage his entire engineering using just an old laptop. He mentioned that his father is an electronics genius. He doesn't have a degree, but he has an electronic genius. He can build anything out when it comes to electronics. And he built this laptop out of scrap for him. And it holds a lot of value to him just because of this. This guy had a lot of different accolades from German universities on the research that he was doing on big data. And let me tell you, you guys might all know about big data today, but back in 2015, 16, very handful people only knew about big data, especially in India. So I was very impressed, of course, and I asked him, then why do you want to go? And the company that I was hiring for was a startup. I asked him, why do you want to work for a startup? You have all the right accolades, you have very good scores and everything. Why don't you go and try for companies like Google? And you're studying at IIT. Google should have been your dream company. He told me one thing, and that's where this entire purpose journey started. He told me that I don't want to make millions. I want to go out and build a company, build a startup wherein degree is not the bar. When people like my father who have the talent could come in and work. And to run a startup, I need to work at a startup so I could learn how startups operate. This gave me chills. And since then, I realized what I've been doing in my career was just watching good movies, probably movies like Pursuit of Happiness, and then going and work for stock trading firms. In an attempt to make millions, what I was left out with was burnout. Because it didn't hold a why for me. It was just what for me till then. Fast forward to now, I started reading a lot about neuroscience, trying to learn about how does prefrontal cortexes work, how does dopamine works, and stuff like those work. And researchers show the Harvard Business Review's researchers also show that if you do something that can answer why have you done this, then your dopamine spike lasts a minimum of 5 days. On the contrary, if you don't have the answer to why I did this, your dopamine spikes rests for about 4 or 5 hours at max. The difference is drastic. Your brain has a part called amygdala. Amygdala is your fear part, right? That entices fear, doubts in your brain. The moment you don't have the answer of anything, that why are you doing this? Till that time, your amygdala will keep on increasing in size. That is why a lot of people are very scared of trying new experiences that is out of their comfort zone. As an example, when many of you will graduate and you, after your final year graduation, when you start moving out of your college, you'll be very scared of the world. Why? Because it's out of your comfort zone. No, none of your friends are around there anymore to help you out or to boost you even when you did a shitty job at anything. Now, what I want to leave you guys with is before next your year, when you start going out for your placements, your interviews, or anything, please sit down and ask to yourself, why do you want to do this job? Does it has an impact in your life, in the people that you love, in the lives of people around you? Please go ahead and do it. If it doesn't answer that, please still go and do it. 9 to 5 can give you a stability, can give you a platform from where you can sit down and keep on researching for your future. Don't stop learning ever. While you learn, make sure that it attaches to your why and not your infatuation with whatever is going on right now in your life. So that's about it from my end. Thank you so much. I'll leave you guys with this, that passion is about you, purpose is about a much bigger persona around you. Thank you.